What is up, everybody? It's James here from the Sawyer Family Reviews channel, bringing you a special video today, taking a look at this awesome custom 3 3/4 scale Blurrg from Amaro Studios. Let's check him out. So if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you may know I've been on a pretty solid Star Wars kick for a few months now. I grew up on Star Wars. I was a huge fan of the 90s Star Wars line. I collected it all through the prequels. Then I got kind of burnt out. I went away from Star Wars for a while, kind of dabbled in and out here for a while. But lately, in the last few months, I've been really focused on Star Wars. Been getting a lot of Hot Toys caught up on, and then as far as the Hasbro line, I've been doing vintage collection, but only focusing on the Mandalorian and Bounty Hunters. So one of the things I noticed that was majorly missing from the vintage collection was a Blurrg. I didn't understand why we didn't have a Blurrg in 3 3/4 scale. We have a Blurrg from Hot Toys, and we've got a Blurrg in like that kid line, that kid Star Wars line, but no vintage collection Blurrg, which to me was crazy. And then I realized that my buddy Joe Amaro from Amaro Studios had made a 3 3/4 scale Blurrg, which he's dubbed the Piranha Bug. But I was like, dude, I have to have one of those. So I contacted him and said, yeah, I got to get one of your Blurrgs, man. He's like, no problem, no problem. So he sends me out a Blurrg. I just got it yesterday, and man, this thing is awesome. So cool. So I want to talk about the overall design, the paint scheme, all that stuff. I'm going to get some figures on here, even though you've already seen that in the opener. But first of all, I do want to say thank you very much to Joe for sending this over to me. I truly appreciate it. It's an awesome piece. I paid for this, by the way. Before anybody thinks that this is a glowing review, I did pay for it. This is not a free sample or something like that. Joe is my friend, but I want to pay him for his work because he does such nice work. So, this Piranha Bug, it's got this amazing paint job on it where it's gray, and then it's got subtle dry brushing, and there's a bit of an undercoat here where it's a little bit lighter. It reminds me a lot of, Jurassic Park dinosaurs, but painted really, really well. So then articulation-wise, it's got a tail that kind of rotates here. We've got a joint here at the hip. I don't want to push it too far because I don't want to mess up the paint. And one moves forward here. And then we've got the little arm articulation where his little T-Rex-y type arms move. I don't want to take them all the way around because it's not meant to go all the way around. It's only meant to go a little bit. But the whole articulation scheme reminds me very much of like a vintage Dewback or a Tauntaun or something like that, where it's got that vintage creature feel to the articulation. I don't want it to have knee joints and elbow joints and all that stuff. I don't need all that. I just need him to stand there, have a little bit of posing for balancing. That's all I need out of it. It's got this really cool maw to it with all these little tiny teeth. Man, that's cool. That is really, really cool. So, figure-wise, what all can fit on this guy? It's 3 3/4 scale. So here is a Mando. This is the one that came packed with the Razor Crest. So he fits on there really well with the ball-jointed hips. Even though his hip joints are those old style, that's not a true barbell. It's got like a peg insert, and then it swivels and turns. You can still get him on there, and he still looks really good. And then Kuiil also fits on here, since he does have one of those barbell waists. Let me do a little pre-posing before I get him on there. And then Kuiil goes on there really well. I'll probably put Kuiil on mine. That'll probably be who rides it all the time. When I think of Kuiil, I think of the Blurrgs. Even though the Blurrgs, they appeared in the Ewoks movies, they are a vintage creature. So you could have this with your vintage, with your Ewoks or your Return of the Jedi displays or Rebels, whatever you want to put it with, because the Blurrgs have appeared many times in Star Wars. They're just kind of known for Mandalorian now. This guy's awesome. This cool saddle sculpt. Yeah. This guy is super cool. So I believe this was $75, if I remember right. And that may seem like, oh man, you're spending a whole lot on just a little bird. You have to understand this is a custom-made piece. Joe hand makes these. He hand paints them. This is not coming manufactured out of a factory or something like that. This is a custom-made piece. So it's $75 for a custom-made creature that interacts with your vintage collection. I think that's pretty awesome. And with no Blurrg on the horizon, this is a pretty good alternative if you wanted to have a Blurrg for your vintage collection. I think he's awesome. I think even give me a second here. I forgot to bring in a vintage figure because I think it even looks pretty good with vintage figures. Like, there's no way of putting him on here just due to the articulation of these vintage figures. You can't really get it into that spot. You could have him posed by it. You could put your vintage Ewoks by this guy, put it with your, your Ewok battle wagon or something like that, and do the Ewok movies. Here's one of those retro style Mandos next to him too. Yeah, this is cool. Thank you so much, Joe Amaro. If you're interested in one of these guys, I'm going to leave a link in the info section down below to the page where he has them up for order. Or at least he did have them up for order. I was looking at his page just yesterday, and the link wasn't as obvious as it was before. So I'm going to find a link, and I'm going to post it in the info section. But you should contact Joe and see if these are available. I'm sure there's some kind of turnaround time because he's got to custom make them. So don't expect it to be like Amazon, where you're going to order it, and then in 2 days, it's going to be showing up at your house. You got to give Joe time to make it. Yeah, so this thing's awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. If you enjoy the videos, like, subscribe, notify. Watch out for more Star Wars content coming soon at the channel. I will talk to you guys next time. Take it easy. Enjoy Mando Season 3. Goodbye.